Today on the farm, we are here to educate farmers on things you can do to improve your fish growth, to make them grow faster. Because there's been complaint in recent time by many farmers that their fingerlings or juvenile which they stock are not actually growing. And most of the time, it is not a fault of the producer or the hatcher where you buy these fingerlings and juvenile from. Most time it is not their fault. Sometimes it is their fault as well. I'm not disputing that fact. But today we care to give 5 tips to reduce the percentage of runts among your fish, right? 5 tips to make sure that your fish is growing better and they are growing faster, and as well reducing the percentage of the ones that do not tend to grow well, right? If it is your first time on this channel, my name is John from Aquaculture. We ask you to subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification bell, hit the like button and share this video to other farmers that might be interested. Very importantly, if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button. It is so that this video can be suggested to other fish farmers with similar interests, right? So let's go straight into the business of the day. Number 1 is stocking quality seeds. You cannot compromise this. If you get this particular one wrong, it will be difficult for you to actually complete that cycle of farming successfully. So very importantly, you need to get good quality seeds. That is, if you're stocking juvenile or post fingerlings, I always advise juveniles or standard juvenile. You don't see me talk about fingerlings, they are too small. You won't be able to handle them well if you're not that very good at it. So always stock juvenile or standard juveniles, right? This is the right size for you to stock, above 8 centimeters, 8 centimeters or 7 centimeters at least and above, right? So number 1, you have to make sure that you are getting quality seed from a trusted farm. You cannot compromise that. There are practices we adhere to make sure that we are breeding quality seeds as a producer or as a hatcher, right? So, and in every standard farm, there are usually SOP, what we call the standard operating procedure, that the farm follows through. Even when they are changing workers, there's usually a later rules that they follow, whereby giving them consistency in the quality of seed they give out, right? So you just have to make sure that you're buying and stocking quality seed. Quality juvenile, quality standard juvenile. If fingerlings in your case, quality fingerlings. So if you're not getting it right from that stage, you'll likely not get it right in that cycle of your stocking. So you need to get quality seeds without compromising it. So make sure you contact a good farm, trusted farm that you know. If you're not so sure of any farm, let's say you're a newcomer, you're a newbie, and you're not so sure of any standard farm in your area, I would advise you that whatever farm you have access to, right, you can just get a little from that farm and see how they are responding to growth in, let's say, 1 month before you stock the larger quantity you want to stock. If let's say you're starting new and you want to stock about 5,000, that is much, right? It's not just small. That means your capacity is a little bit up. It's not that very small. You can stock a very little first, see how they are responding to feed. So with time, you can trust that farm to say, okay, these persons are adhering to standard practices before they raise their juvenile or standard juvenile. So in that way, you can be sure that you're buying from a good farm. Number 2 is stock even sizes, right? We cannot overemphasize on this. You have to stock even sizes for you to actually do well. The implication of you stocking sizes in different range is this. If let's say you want to stock right now and you buy, maybe from the farm you went to buy, they don't have enough juvenile to give you and they mix fingerlings for you. That means you're buying a fish of 8 centimeters and the one of 3 centimeters. You can see that the distance between them is too far, 8 centimeters to 3 centimeters. The disadvantage of that is this: you're going to have high mortality rate, because especially when you are feeding your fishes, the bigger ones tend to bully the smaller ones, right? So little or no feed is reaching the smaller ones, and that will result to you having what we call runts, right? There's going to be stunted growth within your fish. The smaller ones will likely remain small, while the bigger ones will go and grow very, very fast, leaving the smaller ones behind. And on the long run, they can even eat up the smaller ones, right? So when you stock odd sizes of fish, the disadvantage is that many of them are going to have slow growth. And in that situation, you'll be thinking probably the farm where you bought from gave you runts, which It's actually not the case, right? It's not the case. It's because you're not doing things correctly. Rot can result from genetic problem or your problem as a farmer. So it's not all the time that it is the fault of the farm where you bought your seeds from, right? So make sure you're stocking even sizes of fish. Please stock even sizes. Don't go and stock 10 centimeters and 4 centimeters together. The big ones will bully the smaller ones. The smaller ones will not have access to enough feed when you're feeding them. Only the remnant is what they get to eat sometimes. But when their sizes are equal, they won't be bullied. When you throw food, all of them will come outside to pick appropriately, and they are all happy, right? So make sure you're stocking even sizes, right? Even sizes of fish. In that way, you will do better by reducing the rate at which some of them will have stunted growth in your pond. Point number 3 is adopting good feeding techniques. So there are 2 major feeding techniques which we all agree, right, in this industry: spot feeding and broadcasting method. There are instances where broadcasting is advised. Like for instance, when we hatch in the hatchery, immediately you can't expect us to just start feeding them at a spot. They are not so sensitive at that time, so you can broadcast your feed to them for it to get to all of them when they are very small. But once they are out and you're already doing grow out, it is advised that you do what we call spot feeding for them. So spot feeding is when you remain on a particular spot to feed them. That is, there's a particular spot you already know, and that is where you feed them always. Most of the times, you must have seen many videos online where a farmer will just come to the farm. He will probably hit a side of the pond and you see his fish is coming out, because they are used to that. So you need to train them at a point to be used to a particular spot where you feed them. You just don't feed them randomly. So there are many advantages to that as well when you do spot feeding. Whenever it is time for their feeding or whenever they are hungry, you'll notice many of them coming to gather at that particular place. Also, when you're going to feed and maybe you hit that particular part and you notice the percentage of fish that is responding to you is not like they used to, you don't have to feed them at that time. It means they are not ready to eat. So spot feeding can actually teach you a whole lot, right? It can teach you a whole lot. So adhere to spot feeding, and at the right time when you want to feed, you'll see all the fish will gather in that place to come and take the feed you're giving to them, whereby having evenly distributed feed in weight to all your fish. So that helps. Please practice a particular techniques of feeding and adhere to it. Now, number 4 is giving them quality feed, right? So you can't compromise that. I've always been talking about it. You need to feed your fish with quality feeds, right? And the most determinant of feed content is the protein content. You can't tell me you're buying a feed that has 20% protein content. How would they grow? They won't grow, they won't do well. You just waste money on the feed. They will remain stunted in growth, they will definitely not do well. So you have to make sure that you're giving your fish quality feed, right? You have to make sure that you're giving them quality feed. You can't compromise that. Don't go and buy expired feed because it is cheap. Don't do that. Or you just buy feed randomly from anywhere and you don't know the protein content of that particular feed. There are required protein content in any feed that you're giving to your fish, right? Like the fries, the very small ones, their protein content is usually very high. So you can't just take anything and go and feed to them. They are not going to grow and they will not do well. And the ones outside, you can buy the normal feeds in the market with good protein content to feed them with. You can use the likes of, it's not an advert for them, it's what is actually working for me. The likes of Blue Crown, they have good protein content and feed conversion ratio. The likes of Alaqua as well. These are feeds you can use. Please don't go and use a brand that has about 20% protein content, either for grow out or for starter feed. Is not good. Number 5, feeding plan and managing. So there has to be a good feeding plan on your farm. You don't feed your fish once today, tomorrow you feed 2 times, next tomorrow you feed 3 times. There has to be a proper feeding plan. That's why you actually need to go for knowledge before venturing into this business, so as to know what to expect and what you are doing, right? There needs to be a proper feeding plan. There is an expected number of feed for you to give to your fish within a particular circle. There is an expected part of feed to feed your fish. So you definitely want to do this calculation, get it right, break it down to what you're supposed to be feeding them daily, right? So what you're feeding them daily, and at the end of it, or if you follow all these professional tips and practices, at the end of the cycle, your fish will give you an equivalent body weight of the feed you have given to them. Any number of fish you're stocking, what you're giving to them is what they give you back. Like there are some feeds that will tell you their feed conversion ratio is 1:1. So it means when you approximately feed 1 kg, completely feed 1 kg, the fish is going to attain 1 kg of size. So all of these things is a proper feeding plan that you need to have. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do well to hit the subscription button, turn on your notification bell, just so that whenever we put out educational content like this, you can have access to it, other fellow farmers can have access to it, and our goal is to educate a lot of farmers to do things the right way so we can all remain profitable in this business. Thank you, and see you next time.